Hey everyone, it's Jen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a fun video. I wanted to show you my 10 favorite products to use in paper crafting. And this was an idea given to me by Jessica from Hamidi Plans. Jessica, hi if you're watching. I will link her down below. And she asked if I would just show my favorite crafting products. So I thought that was a great idea. As some of you know, I like to sew a lot too and do other kinds of projects, but these are my favorite products for paper crafting. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me. Please subscribe if you'd like to watch more crafting videos. I do lots of hauls and tutorials and project shares, things like that. But yeah, so these are the tools that make my paper crafting easier, and I've gotten a lot of ideas from other YouTubers and people on Instagram. So I thought you might like to see what I like to use, and maybe you'll get some new ideas of things to try as well. Okay, so in no particular order, I'm going to show you what I really enjoy using. So the first one is this foam mounting tape from the Dollar Tree, and I know a lot of crafters use this as well. This raises up your projects, different layers of your paper crafting projects to give them dimension. You can use them to create shakers, and I really like them when I'm doing layered projects, and it really raises some up and just looks really nice on different cards and things like that. So when you open it, this is at the very end of a roll. I have so many of these waiting to be used. I've used a ton of them, and they're just great. But anyway, this is what the rectangles look like. They're double-sided tape. One side is sticky, the other side has a backing on it that you peel off when you're ready. And yeah, it's a great size, but you can always cut them down too if you need to, and that's what I like to do. The ones that come really teeny, those are just kind of awkward for me to use. I just really enjoyed this size and cutting them if I need to. So that is my number one product, and I'm sure if you don't use this already, give it a try. You will love it. Okay, sticking with the adhesive theme, I have two favorite wet glues. This one is the first one. This is Beacon 3-in-1 Craft Glue. And Ida from Created to Create originally introduced this glue to me, and it's wonderful. When you use it on paper crafting projects, it does not let your paper warp. So that is a great quality in a wet glue. It's fast drying, but you have a little bit of time to move things around if they're not perfectly aligned. So that's why I like this glue a lot. My second option for liquid glue is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, and this is clear drying craft glue. This one I like too. I tend to use it more in like fine details because it dries very clear. This one has a little bit of shine to it when it dries. This one does not, the Nuvo one. Also, the Nuvo one has a very fine precision tip, so you can get very tiny dots of glue in areas, and this one tends to come out a little bit more at a time. So I use a 3-in-1 glue to cover bigger surfaces usually, and I use the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive for smaller areas. So they both are wonderful in my craft room. I love them both, and I won't be without them. So those count as one entry. All right, the next item I have is foam, and this is the foam that I like to use when I'm creating shaker cards. And I only have this one piece left, but this is 3mm EVA foam from Wandy Foam on Etsy. And I will link this down below. I will link all the products that I can down below, as a matter of fact. And I do have a video, which I'll also link below, comparing this 3mm foam to Hobby Lobby's 3mm foam. I like them both, but this one is my top favorite foam to use for shakers. It does not distort. It cuts cleanly with dies in your die cutting machine, and it's just a pleasure to work with. So it's not the most cost-effective foam, but it is great. And there are very few headaches involved with this. So I love this foam, and it's definitely my favorite. Okay, the next favorite product I have is called the Tool-in-One from Spellbinders. And I actually have two of them. This is the older one, the purpley blue one, and then this is a newer version, the gold one. And these are great when you're die cutting. It has a pokey end, very sharp, and then it has the brush end. So if you're doing die cutting and you have like little pieces of paper that needs to come out of your die or out of your die cut, you run this brush over it and it pops all those pieces out for you. It's so handy. Erica, Scrap Diva 29, hi Erica if you're watching, she had originally introduced this to me, and I'm so glad because it's a wonderful tool. I have two because I have one here at my desk and I have one at my die cutting machine. When I didn't have two, I was always chasing one down, so I'm glad to have two now. The brushes are a little bit different, but I find they work the same. They also come with another attachment in here that you can use if you want to. It's like a little tiny like offset pokey tool, and there's also like a little spatula thing that comes in the blue one. So you could switch out the pokey tool at the end and put that other tool in there. I never use them actually, so I just leave the pokey tool there, and yeah, these are great. I always use them in my die cutting, and it's a wonderful tool to have. I think I got my gold one on Amazon, so I will try and find that and link it for you. Okay, cardstock. Cardstock, I have lots of different kinds of cardstock, paper pads, you know, every kind of paper you could imagine. But there's one kind of paper that I love to buy in single sheets. So Joann's has single sheet papers that are my favorite, and they're either Basil cardstock or their Coronations line. And Basil, this is my favorite Basil paper, and it is called, here, let me turn it so you can see it. It's called Almond Cream, and I use this paper a lot for die cutting gingerbread men, cookies, any kind of baked goods. I love to use this paper. It's a nice heavyweight, double-sided, and it cuts beautifully and inks beautifully, and I've bought this countless times as well. Joann's occasionally will have a sale, 10 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock for $2, which is a great deal. So whenever that sale comes up, I tend to stock up. So this is the Basil line. Their Coronations line is also really, really good, and I like to buy a lot of these papers. They're also included in that sale, and these are distributed by American Crafts. This is one of my favorite prints. It's light pink small dot. As you can see, I've cut some off already. This is single-sided, but this comes in a variety of colors, like this aqua one, and I use this one a lot too. This one is light aqua small dot. So, and these papers are textured, if you can see. Yeah, there's a slight texture to them. It doesn't interfere with die cutting or anything, but does give them a little bit more interest. Another paper that's in their open stock is this kind, which is more textured and it's glittered. This one is from Coronations, and this one is called Stiletto. But this comes in lots of different colors with the texture and a little bit of glitter on it. The white one is one of my favorites. I just don't have any of it right now to show you, but this pink one is really pretty too. And then another one is this. I use this a lot, and this comes in different colors too. This is by Basil. Sorry, let's turn it around. And this is pale pink, but it has embossed dots on it. So I use this quite a lot. This color is called Soft Shell. If you could see that, focus. There we go. And yeah, I just love the Basil and Coronations papers at Joann's. I use those a lot for my solids. I have a special folder dedicated to them, and I always get that folder out when I'm working on paper projects, and most of my projects incorporate some of these papers in there somewhere, because it's great to have good solids, good small polka dots and glitters. So I definitely recommend those papers as a all-purpose paper. Okay. Next, speaking of, well, this isn't really paper, but it's a pad. I get this from Amazon, and this is the acetate that I use for shakers. And this is the Duralar brand, and this is 0.005 clear film. The paper pads come in different sizes. This one happens to be 11 by 14. I've gotten the 9 by 12 before, I think it is. And it just depends what's available on Amazon at the time. I will try to link this down below. But this kind in particular, the 0.0051 die cuts beautifully in your die cutting machine. It's really nice acetate. It's a good weight, not too thick, not too thin. It has tissue paper dividing each piece. And one sheet lasts a long time when you're making shakers. So it's definitely worth it. I've tried other acetates. I've tried like the Michaels brand acetate, and it just doesn't cut as well for me. I find that this one really, really works well. So that's what I recommend for acetates. Okay, the next item we're on to number 7, and back to adhesives. I like to use double-sided tape a lot. Not the foam tape that raises it up, but just plain double-sided tape. And a lot of people use red line tape, score tape. My favorite tape is the double-sided tape from the Alina Craft store on AliExpress, and you can get it in different widths. I tend to use these 3 the most. Let me measure these so we'll see. I don't remember the sizes of them. So, okay, there's a really skinny one that really comes in handy sometimes. I should probably do millimeters. That's probably how they're on the website. So this one is 3 millimeters. Use that one very frequent. I use all of these frequently. The next size is, I think this is 5. Yes, that's 5 millimeters. And then the thickest one that I use is, let's see, that's about 8 millimeters. So 3, 5, and 8 millimeter double-sided tape. And you can tear these, but I usually cut them just to have a nice clean edge. But if you're, struggling with the amount of hands you have and you can't get your scissors out, you can just tear it. But this is really good double-sided tape. Holds well. I have never had a problem with it popping up on projects, and you get a lot in a roll. It's very cost effective. So I will definitely link these down below. And yeah, this is a great double-sided tape. I haven't ordered in a long time, but I use it a lot. And as you can see, I still have a lot left. So very good value in double-sided tape. Okay, number 8. Speaking of adhesive, adhesives are so important in paper crafting, whether you're making cards, shakers, just everything I make basically in paper crafting, you need a good adhesive. So, and there are different ones you need for different projects. So I'm sure you can understand why I have all these adhesives in this video. But okay, for glue guns. Now I've tried lots of glue guns, smaller ones, bigger ones, low temp, hot temp, or high temp. This is my favorite one. And this is from Shore Bonder. And this is the Lynn Lilly brand, or a collaboration with Shore Bonder. And this is a high temp glue gun, as it says right there. And it takes the smaller glue sticks. It has a little drip plate here, although it really doesn't drip. And the good thing about this is, first of all, it lights up when you're using it, so it's hard to leave it on, although I still have. But when it's lit up, that means it's on. And when you take it off of the base, it's cordless. So you have about 2 minutes to go ahead and do your gluing before it cools off and you have to put it back in to warm up again. But I've never had that problem. I don't use it for 2 minutes at a time, just like a 5 seconds or something like that. So this is a great glue gun, doesn't drip, nice high temp, so it gives you, a nice bond, and the color is beautiful. I just love the teal and pink. Matches my craft room perfectly. So this one you have to get, I'm pretty sure still, from the Shore Bonder website. You did when I bought it. And it's great. It's a really, really nice glue gun. Shore Bonder has lots of other kinds, but this is the one that I chose, and I really recommend it. Okay, so we have 2 more items. Okay, scissors. Scissors are something that us crafters love to collect. I must have 30 pairs of scissors, no kidding. But my favorite pair of scissors are the cutter bees. And I'm sure lots of you have this or have seen it before. This is by EK Success. And I will link this down below. I actually have another pair on the way. These are great fine tip scissors. And the reason I have another pair on the way, I've had these for a long time, and one of my tips is a little bit bent, so I wanted to get one that was really straight again. But I use these for fussy cutting, and I've tried so many others. I have so many smaller scissors, but this is the best I found for fussy cutting. And it's a great all-purpose scissor too. So when you're trying to cut like a rounded shape out of a piece of paper, this is, I've had the best luck with this. And I'm left-handed, and it works great. I don't think that they're made for left or right hand. They seem pretty much the same either hand. So if you're a lefty like me, these work great, and I'm sure you righties love this too because it's a really popular set of scissors. I've heard about them from YouTubers too. That's why I originally got them. They're not that expensive and they save you a lot of headaches. So yeah, that's a great product to have. Okay, so number 10 is something we've been looking at the whole time, and that is my glass craft mat. Now this is new to me. I got this from Glassboard Studio. I have a video down below, or I'll link down below where I review this craft mat. This was provided to me by Glassboard Studio as in exchange for a review of their product, and I love it. It is a wonderful crafting surface. It has a grid with measurements on it already, so you can measure really quickly your paper crafting projects. You can glue right on it, you can ink on it, you can cut on it, and it just cleans up with alcohol wipe or water and a microfiber cloth, and it's good to go. So yeah, I love this craft mat. It's a nice big size too. It's about 18 by 24. They have other sizes on their website. If you're interested in one, I know a few of you have bought one from there with my coupon code, which is great. Thank you. My code is JEN20, JEN20, and you'll get 20% off. So anyway, a glass cutting mat, this one, or if you have another one, you know that they're great, and they're very versatile and helpful in your paper crafting projects. All right, so those are my top 10 crafting products for paper crafting. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I look forward to seeing what you guys like to craft with. I've gotten most of my ideas from other people, so I appreciate that. And hopefully I've helped you with picking out some new crafting supplies. And I will link all the ones down below that I can. All right, thanks for joining me. I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not, and I'll be back soon with another crafty video. Thanks again, Jessica. Take care all. Bye.